inches, number 11, Sabonis. The big man, 6 feet 10 inches, number 33, Miles Turner. At the point guard position, standing 6'5", number 7, Malcolm Brogdon. The other guard, at 6 foot 3 inches, number 4, Victor Oladipo. Make some noise for your Pacers.
It's time for the NBA, live on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here. Here's a look at the schedule now for Dallas. On Wednesday, they'll be taking on Jonas Valanciunas and the Memphis Grizzlies. Then on Friday, they'll take on John Wall and the Washington Wizards.
And looking at this stretch for them, I think they should have no problem dispatching most of their opponents if they can avoid that pitfall of playing down to the level of the competition. But that's easier said than done.
Now a look at Dallas's starting lineup. Inside of the 4 and the 5, Porzingis and Powell. Jalen Brunson out there with Tim Hardaway Jr. And it's Doncic in at the small forward. And for Indiana, Sabonis and Turner up front. Brogdon and Oladipo, the backcourt duo. And it's McDermott in at the 3, the small forward. And Doris, given how much of last season he missed and how early he came into the league, Porzingis a lot younger than people think.
Yeah, no doubt, Kevin. Think about it. He becomes an all-star at the age of 22 and already one of the more recognizable faces in the league. It is truly scary to think that in a few years, KP could be miles better than where he is today.
Pass to Sabonis. Porzingis with the block, and they're able to recover. And the dunk by Porzingis.
You know, at 7'3", yes, he can dunk, but with that athleticism and his sense for the dramatic and his flair, look out, folks, he can be special.
Oladipo, the pass to McDermott. Turner against Powell. Here's Oladipo, and that one goes long.
Boy, a miss like that will drive any scorer crazy, especially with the defender giving a cushion.
Last game for the Mavericks, they picked up the W against the Hawks.
Yeah, they took advantage of some porous defense in that one. Really got the shots they wanted.
Give them some credit. I'll tell you this, Greg. They caught an opponent on a very off night defensively, and you take advantage. Simple as that.
Pass to Sabonis. Over Porzingis.
Just one made field goal in 5 tries. Not a good start.
And once again off the mark by Indiana. And the dunk by Porzingis.
Kristaps Porzingis is so agile, mobile, and hostile. You give him a lane, and he'll take advantage.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And there's the foul. It's on Jalen Brunson. That's his first foul. Dallas on defense. Oladipo draws the double. They need this. Sabonis. And slam dunk by Sabonis.
I'll tell you, Domantas Sabonis has got some big-time athleticism. That's a pretty dunk. I think the Indiana Pacers, as an organization, a team that tries to grow its own superstars. Miles Turner, certainly a guy in that conversation. The 11th pick back in 2015, he has gotten better every single year.
And Brogdon has got the ball here for the Pacers. 6-point game. Got a piece of it. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Brogdon. And now a chance to take a look at some numbers for Turner.
And guys, for a measure of how he's performing offensively, look no further than the true shooting percentage. There's been a steady drop in his last 5 games, and he's got to be scrambling now to get that feel back.
Lamb, he's checked in for the Pacers.
Boy, the strength of Victor Oladipo is on display there, effortlessly absorbing the contact. Nicely done. Well, known for being a terrific passer, he shows you right there. Case in point.
And Doris, you look at Turner's impact. It's definitely at both ends of the floor.
No doubt, Kev. Turner was the league leader in blocks last season. He became a much more efficient three-point shooter, and now all of a sudden he's becoming a better facilitator out of the post. Just great development.
Well, there haven't been many misses at the line for this group of players. This is how the shooting guards around the league stack up when it comes to free throw shooting in the past 10 games. Fifth on the list, Malcolm Brogdon.
We've gotten used to seeing a lot of terrific free throw shooters from the two-guard ranks, but even so, it shouldn't take away from what these players have been able to do up there.
You know, that's a very steady bunch at the line, no doubt about that. In any kind of clutch situation, if it's one of those players shooting the big free throw, you can be sure he's going to come through.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And there's a call. It's on Indiana with the foul. The Mavericks shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line. And the first one drops. Dallas making a switch here. Curry's checked in. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
And back in his day as coach of the Blazers, players called Nate McMillan Sarge for his style. Very tough and demanding.
The beauty, though, Greg, to me is Nate McMillan has adapted. He has given more leeway for his players and his assistant coaches. He's willing to take players aside and bring a more personal approach. And I think in today's NBA, that's critical.
Floats one up. Basket is good. He'll get a chance for one more at the line.
Well, that's a nice play. You've got to read the situation and go to your floater game when necessary.
You feel like Jeremy Lamb has been in the league forever, mostly known for being a piece in the Harden trade when he left OKC, but Lamb is coming to his own the last few years. All right, a chance to check out some stats for Brogdon. A strong stretch of play the last 10 games. He's averaging 15 points a game, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. He's been nothing short of fantastic during that stretch. Offense coming very easily for him.
And so much of it, to me, is his ability to read the floor, make the right decision, and then go right after the action he wants.
Dallas making a switch here. Lights checked in. Pass to Leaf. Curry against Brogdon. It's deflected. Pushing it up. Here's Finney-Smith, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. Holiday surveying the floor. To the paint, here's Leaf. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position.
Here's Kleba, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
Not the kind of aggressive defense they need to cut into the lead.
Yeah, you have to protect the rim, Greg, a little better.
You're just too slow to react. You can't afford to sleepwalk through possessions. What's going on out there?
The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Mavericks ahead. They're up by 6. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And guys, what's your take so far on the Mavs?
Yeah, in that first period, they looked to push in transition at every opportunity.
And why wouldn't they, Greg? You see their effectiveness in the open floor. Very difficult to slow down.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the floor for Dallas, Curry is out there with Wright. And there's Jackson, and it's Finney-Smith in at the 4 spot. Count that one. Wright's got the lead up to 10 now for the Mavs. And here's Indiana, and this matchup with Dallas. It's their first meeting of the season.
And it was a matchup you thought they would have cruised through, but they actually dropped a game in this series last year.
Here's Lamb. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2. Doris, you and I enjoy discussing pure score, great shooters, but guys that can score a myriad of ways. Give us a couple of names that we don't always hear about that really impressed you.
Well, one young man who I think has got an offensive game that is really continuing to grow and is quite beautiful already is Zach LaVine. But probably the best example, Kev, would have to be the multi-time winner of the Six-Man Award, and that's Sweet Lou Williams. This guy can score against any defense. He's great in pick and roll. He has become a better playmaker, but Lou Williams is a problem to guard.
And as people will say, he is a professional scorer.
That's perfect, yes.
Porzingis is checked in for Dallas. Doncic comes in for Dorian Finney-Smith. He's perfect from the line this time. And for the Pacers, they come in off a great outing against the Knicks.
Yeah, they put the defense on them. Aggressive, intimidating. They blocked a lot of shots in that one.
Greg, it was obvious. They pressured that team from the outset every trip down the floor. That will wear an opponent down over time.
And let's see the stat sheet here on Victor Oladipo. He's been on a remarkable tear this past month. 11th in scoring. And he's as opportunistic as anybody defensively, ranking among the top 15 league-wide in steals per game.
And yeah, one of the most dangerous scorers in the game. He's already come up big in some key games this year. His teammates really feed off his presence, I think. Turner's checked in for Leaf. And Dallas with a change here, too. Berea's checked in.
And I like the fact that he really was unfazed by that scoreless first quarter. And now you can see him getting into a rhythm.
Oladipo misses. Dallas leading by 9. Porzingis passes to Doncic. Lays it up off the glass. Doncic has got his second bucket.
Well, this speaks to the feel that Kristaps Porzingis has for the game of basketball. If you're open, he'll find you.
Holiday against Berea. Oladipo right side. Porzingis with the block. And now the fast break. Doncic with the ball. And the dunk by Doncic.
What a basketball mind when you think about Luka Doncic. This guy in the break is exploiting defenses.
Now the pass to Bitadze. Out to the wing. On its way from McDermott for 2. And the Pacers can't get it to go. And Porzingis, here we go. And the dunk by Porzingis.
Yeah, they're rolling right now. That lead continues to grow.
And one of the things that's helped that is they're getting it done on both ends. Terrific focus on offense, and they're locked in defensively.
So timeout called here, the first for Indiana.
And the lack of rim protection, top of the list.
And the question they're going to have to answer to me is it a problem with the scheme or is it a problem with matchups?
Sabonis, he's checked in for Turner. And then for Dallas, Dwight Powell's checked in for Jackson. And Lee's subbed in for DeLon Wright. Count it.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
To the inside, Porzingis with the steal. And here we go, Mavericks running again. Here's Doncic. Good, and it's Berea who picks up the assist. Doncic has got 6 in the quarter.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Holiday, the pass to Sabonis. Falls through. He's now made 2 of 4.
This guy's a skilled interior scorer. There's height. There's great shot selection. Sabonis doing work right now.
And doors for the Pacers with Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis, 2 talented young big men. Does that make it a log jam at that center position?
I don't think on the offensive end there's a problem. Both can space the floor with their shooting. Sabonis is an exceptional passer. I think the challenge is on the defensive end, and the reason being both are exceptional defending close to the cup.
And there's the bucket from Victor Oladipo.
Oladipo has a lot of shots at his disposal, including that pretty floater.
Doncic passes to Porzingis with the teardrop, and it's out of bounds to the Mavericks as Dallas retains possession.
Mike Scott. Jeremy Lamb.
Down low, Powell kicks to Porzingis, shoots over Scott. That one off the back iron and out. Pacers trail by 17. Brogdon the pass to Lamb. Oladipo with the ball. Back to Lamb for the three. And the foul on Mike Scott. That's foul number 2 for him. That's good from Lamb on the assist by Oladipo. TJ Leaves checked in for Indiana. And a new group getting ready for Dallas. Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for Dwight Powell. Dorian Finney-Smith comes in for Porzingis. Ryan Brokoff's checked in for Luka Doncic. And it's Seth Curry in for J.J. Barea. Brogdon the pass to Sabonis. Leaf kicks to Lamb. Over Lee. He can't get it to go. And so it's Dallas with a sizable lead as the quarter wraps up. They're ahead 16 points. Their strategy has been clear tonight.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to 2K. There was no stopping Kristaps Porzingis in the first half. He had 14 points, 2 block shots, and 1. And that'll do it.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. And it's been a clinic out there by Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, he's been nothing short of a wall at the rim so far in this one, single-handedly providing great rim protection.
If he is in the area, he's going to challenge your shot. He's going to block it, alter it. He's going to have an impact.
Brogdon and Oladipo, the backcourt duo. Sabonis and Turner up front. And it's McDermott in at the 3. So that's the group out there for Indiana. And Doncic, here we go.
If he sees a lane to the rim, Doncic will capitalize. Nice drive.
And here's Oladipo. He'll bring it up for the Indiana Pacers. Pass to Brogdon. On the wing, Turner. 6 to shoot. Back to Brogdon. Powell pulls it in.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Turner with the steal. Fast break. Here comes Indiana. Here's Oladipo. And yes, it's good. Oladipo's got 6.
My goodness, it's hard to stay with Oladipo in transition. The speed, the quickness can be overwhelming.
There's the lob to Oladipo. Porzingis with the steal. Here's Powell. Finished off the break. And the Mavericks lead by 20.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Brogdon outside. Goes up the baseline. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks.
Well, trying to find themselves in the second half here. Just 1 for 4 from the field. Can someone in the group get hot? Let's see.
Doncic against Oladipo. Nice D from Doncic.
And as Dirk Nowitzki walks off into the sunset, the Mavericks seem to have found their next European superstar in Luka Doncic. The number 3 pick in last year's draft had a rookie season for the ages.
What a brutal night for this guy, and it is having a ripple effect throughout the team. This is tough.
Want easy looks? Don't allow the defense to set up.
What a beautiful fast break opportunity, and the finish pretty good.
Pass to Oladipo. 11 feet away. Here's Turner. No luck, they battled on the glass but couldn't knock it down. Mavericks leading by 22. Here's Hardaway. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Hardaway has got his second bucket of the game to go.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
And Doncic, the EuroLeague MVP, led Real Madrid to a title. EuroLeague Finals MVP, all at the tender age of 19.
Incredibly accomplished, despite that, slipped a little bit in the draft into the waiting arms of the Mavs, who moved up 2 spots to get him.
And some changes here for the Pacers. Scotty's checked in for Turner. TJ Leaf comes in for Domantas Sabonis. And it's Lamb in there for Doug McDermott. Leaf, no good.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Doris, you've said this often. It is incredibly difficult to compare guys of different positions in different eras, isn't it?
It really is. There's so many discussions about who's the GOAT, who's the greatest of all potential time. And there are certain names that are always going to pop to the top of the list, LeBron James. But it's very difficult to me, say, to compare a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest to ever man the center position, had the impossible to check sky hook. But how do you compare him with LeBron James, who, though he is, and I don't know what position he is, he may be the greatest passer in the history of the league. Like, let's enjoy individual greatness without comparison.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
You know, we see this all the time, Greg. You're basically, as a defender, hoping the man misses rather than putting in the work to get over screens.
Now Brogdon, 5 points in the game. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
And a player who flew under the radar last year, Malcolm Brogdon. The Pacers wanted to add him over the summer. Got a hefty deal from Indiana to lead the Bucks. Exactly the kind of player that the Pacers need.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2.
I think he's got to settle down, because right now it feels like he's rushing, like he's forcing some shots. This quarter, he has been completely bothered.
Finney Smith, whistle blows, bucket is good, and he'll have a chance at the line to make it a 3-point play.
Shooting 1.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. And so here is Indiana. And 1:01 left in the third. Brogdon the pass to Bitadze. He kicks it to Lamb. Passes it to Bitadze. Left side, Scott. Outside, Lamb. Just 4 to shoot. And once again off the mark by Indiana.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And it's in there. Finney Smith's got 5 points now in the quarter.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
Greg, to me, this has simply stated been a complete lack of defensive attention and focus all night long.
And it's good for 2.
Really strong rebounding on the interior, and he gets the easy putback.
For Dallas, they've gone 8 of 10 shooting here in the second half. Very strong. And the pass to Brokaw. Here's Finney Smith. Here's Kleba. He's got 5, and he uses the glass on the layup. Kleba's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Now, how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket?
And the last second attempt does not go in for him.
I don't know that we'll ever consider him a lockdown defender, but boy, Seth Curry works hard, he's fundamentally sound, and he's in the right spots.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Mavericks ahead, running away with it. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Indianapolis. And how about a look now at our assist to the game? Brought to you by State Farm.
And definitely deserving of the prize tonight. How about the read he made here, looking like a point guard, putting the pass right on the money.
Greg, he's got the size to survey over the top of the defense and find the open man. That was beautiful.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. On the court for the Mavericks, we've got Lee. Also, DeLon Wright is out there. And it's Kleba in at the center position.
And in terms of size, not your typical center, but man, he plays as big as any of them thanks to that terrific leaping ability.
Outside Holiday. Misses the 3.
Well, you can see why the defense dared him to shoot it. That's not really his spot.
Yes, that goes in.
I'll tell you, it's one thing to do this at home. another to do it in a hostile environment.
Boy, just sheer dominance, the ability to step into enemy territory and flat out take over. This is impressive.
Of course, here's something kind of interesting. There's been a lot of talk about moving the draft to after free agency. What would that look like?
Well, I think talent is always going to be at a premium. So I would think if there's a guy that's the absolute definitive #1 pick, he's going #1 regardless of roster construction. But the reality is it might help those teams who maybe if they know who's on the roster, it might change the kind of draft selection they would make. So it's an interesting supposition. We'll see if the NBA moves in that direction.
Shooting for Dallas. At the line for 2.
The first one falls.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
The Pacers making a switch here. Sampson's checked in. Dallas also making some changes. Dwight Powell's checked in for Maxi Kleber. Hardaway comes in for Ryan Brokoff. And Barea subbed in for Wright. Here's Sumner. Pass to Holiday. Pass to Sumner. Beyond the arc. No good on that one. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. Here's Barea. And the layup is good.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Bitadze can't hit.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Lee gets the bucket.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Sumner passes to Johnson. And Holiday kicks to Sumner. Doris, do you have high hopes for the new draft lottery system to keep every team competitive to the very end of the season?
Well, one of the keys in implementing this new draft lottery system was to make sure that the bottom 3 teams were given equal opportunity to get that top draft choice. I think you did see it have some effect on play and teams trying to be competitive while understanding they're still going to have an opportunity to build their team through the draft. But here's the reality. The NBA has got to be under review constantly. There's a process in play. It's one of the most proactive leagues in the country in terms of always looking for little things to make sure their game is the best it can be.
Attention to detail. Well said. Holiday, the pass to Bitadze. That's tipped.
Beautiful defense from Powell. Uses that impressive length to come away with that rejection.
Jackson. And the layup's good off the glass.
You have to have the vision to find the open man. Beautiful pass.
For Indiana, they've gone just 2 of 8 in this fourth quarter. The final quarter not treating them well so far. Here's Sumner, guarded by Barea. Holiday, the pass to Bitadze. There's the dish to Johnson. Lays it up and banks it in. Johnson's got his first bucket in this one.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Dallas.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And these guys already with 45 wins on the year, so tonight we'll make it 46.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Luka Doncic.
What a relentless scoring night for this guy. In attack mode all evening. Great finish. What a setup. Terrific ball movement there.
Barea finds Jackson. Got a piece of it. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Sampson. Powell pulls it in.
And you know, you can't impact a shot that close any better than he did on that possession.
Boy, whether he blocks it or simply alters it, the result is pretty much the same.
Johnson with it. So no problem for Dallas as they get the win. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge. And